Hello.
And here we are
Okay.
with the final race of this marathon. And maybe yes, okay, there's sound. That's cool. Not like I totally forgot at the start of the relay race to check there's at least one stream audio coming through. Yes. So, who are you people, and why are you here?
That's a very intense line of inquiry. And I don't know if I feel prepared to answer at least one of those questions.
Sam, just try your best. Honestly, it's all we can ask from you.
Well, I am Samabam. You may have seen me yesterday. I am here to lose.
I am so sorry. And no, Eraser, my name is not so sorry. Okay.
I didn't say anything.
You wanted
We all know you were prepared to say something.
I was not gonna say it, but I did think it pretty loudly.
You know, at some point in the run, sometimes there's a line where one of the bosses says, "My name is whispered in the wind, shouted in the storm," and I mean, I'm just excited for Eraser's response to that, if it happens.
Yeah, but I'm too lazy every time. Because you do it for me, actually. So.
Alright, well, anyway, hello, my name is Smathlax. I ran the epilogue of this game on Friday. That was the console exclusive DLC, and now Sam and I are gonna race the base game, any percent, which is a lot longer.
You did the epilogue first?
Yes. And then we did...
The guy who did the scheduling must be an idiot.
Yeah, and then after epilogue, we did the prequel from 1,000 years ago. And now we're doing the sequel to the prequel.
Wow, you did a prequel 1,000 years ago. The guy who prepared that must be really stupid as well.
It was 1K8. Anyway, should we get started?
I mean, if you want to, I guess.
I just want to say something before you start. Sam, you are getting bald.
I'm getting bald?
Yeah.
Well, because of how far back my hairline goes?
Yes.
Yeah, it's literally been like that my whole life. You're not the first person to say that. It's just literally what my hair does. But I appreciate your concern.
I'm under the impression that it's worse than when I saw you last year, but okay.
It's not, though.
Eraser just really wants people to be bold.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sensing some projection here.
And just speaking of hairs and stuff, if you win, Sam, I will shave. Remember that.
Well, I mean, I don't care if you have a beard. That doesn't encourage me at all, and I'm definitely not gonna win.
I do care about having it. So, do you want to hurt me? Win.
Yeah, I guess.
Anyway,
I thought we were just here to have a chat as we stare at the load game screen.
yes, so I'll just give a countdown, and then you guys can either talk about anything you like, or start the run, or both.
Alright, sure. We'll just load the save as you on go then.
Okay, then it's on in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go. So we start the run by loading a save file of the very beginning of the game, as we did with epilogue. And then we're immediately gonna do a trick called AI break. Basically, we're chasing Elika here. If we get too far behind, she waits for us. And turns out if we get in front of her, the game thinks that we're behind, because we're not in the expected area, and she also starts waiting like that. And then, because she's not coming with us, she's not here to load this cutscene here. And it looks like we both got AI breaks, so that's great.
Yep, we're good to go on my end.
So anyway...
As you probably noticed, Smath did a fancy wall run that saved him a little bit of time that I did not do. You're going to see a lot of little things like that because I just recently relearn this game, and I am nowhere near as good or well versed with this run as Smath is.
Right, and I'm doing a D-Rust run, which, as Sam pointed out earlier, might mean that this will be world record, because D-Rust runs tend to do that, but who knows. But yeah, Shadows versus no Shadows. I play with no Shadows, mostly because when I started running this game, my PC wasn't very good. It wasn't terrible, but the game was lagging, and to minimize that, I played on lowest graphics, and now I'm used to that, and I don't want to change, so I just play on the lowest graphics.
No, I can't leave. I've got to get to the
Also,
temple.
Elika does that because of AI break.
You really can put me down now.
Anyway, so big skip coming up, barrier skip. So generally playing this game casually, at this point we would be going to the temple and basically unleashing the end of the world, and then we'd spend the entire game trying to fix the end of the world. However, instead of doing that, we're just gonna skip it and fix the end of the world before it even happens by collecting light seeds. In total, we're gonna need to collect 540 light seeds during this run. But in order to collect light seeds, we first need to heal fertile grounds, which takes a long time. If we collect them before unleashing the end of the world, then we don't need to heal the fertile grounds unless we save like an hour or something. So anyway, we're gonna clip out with a corner clip. I'll explain in more detail how the corner clip works later. For now, all you need to know is we can clip out. Got the slow variant. Disgusting. And now I'm doing what's called ultimate glitch. So basically, if you get under the floor by some means, then you can continuously just jump. And as long as you don't stop jumping, you'll never fall. And then we get past the barrier, which was on the left there, like that. And because of that, we now go out into the world, where we are free to collect light seeds, because we haven't unleashed the end of the world yet.
Alright, fourth time's a charm. I may actually get to complete the game now.
So that was the first light seed.
There we go.
Anyway, so the area that we're entering now is called Kingsgate. So generally, if we hadn't done barrier skip, we would have first unleashed the end of the world, and then we'd have to heal the fertile ground. So what that means is that we'd have to do like a mini mission, kind of, where we'd have to follow a bunch of paths set up by the game. So there'd be a bunch of cutscenes and stuff, and we'd have to kill a boss, or rather fight a boss who doesn't actually die. And then once we fight the boss, we can heal the fertile ground, and then these light seeds appear, which we need to complete the game. However, as I said, we don't need to do any of that. We can just collect the light seeds. Now, the big disadvantage of that is that because we skipped unleashing the end of the world, at the same time we skipped unlocking the double jump ability, which is just a casual mechanic, and you kind of need it to traverse the game. And so a lot of the time where in theory we'd need to use double jump to get through, we will instead be doing a bunch of glitches and stuff. And so this...
Yeah,
Go on.
I was going to say, we end up traversing the world quite slowly as a result of that, but it still saves an absolute ton of time because we don't have to beat hardly any of the levels.
Yeah. We will be healing 2 levels, I think, out of 20. Oh, also there's the hunter. So normally you'd have to fight him, but we can just eat him like that. We don't even have to do that, I just show that off for fun. Ah. So coming up will be the first instance of the use of double jump, but we don't actually have double jump, so we will get through by some other means. In this case, we will use a drop glitch. If you saw the epilogue run, you would have seen this already. Basically, you can grind from the wall, as you can see here, I'm grinding. And if I grind there like that, it happened quite quickly, but basically, during the transition between walking and grinding, you can jump in any direction. Normally, when you're grinding, you can only jump directly from the wall. However, during that transition, you can jump in any direction, and oh, I messed up. In that particular situation, we used that. Okay, I'm just not gonna go for this. I'm too rusty. In that particular situation, we used the drop glitch to get under the pole and do a wall run under it so that we could skip a double jump. Because it happened quite fast, didn't have time to explain all of it before doing it, but you'll see it on Sam's screen soon enough. This is bump jump. Basically, if you land on a slide right after a wall run... Oh, I messed up. Great. If you land on a slide right after a wall run, you can jump in any direction as well. Like that. Normally, you can only jump directly forward. And then coming up will be the first instance of the airwalk glitch. So again, I'll explain in a bit more detail how this works later, because it's related to another glitch called the ledge warp. But
basically, what you should take away from all this is that this game is incredibly broken, and we have found a lot of different things we can do.
Yes, like that.
Some of them out of necessity, because without double jump, there's just what you're capable of is a little limited.
Yeah. But basically, for now, all you need to know is we can airwalk when there's a beam sometimes. Well, I'm already 51 seconds behind PB, so...
Oh no.
That's great. Probably a world record.
I was hoping to get second place out of this run today, and that could definitely still happen. My PB is only like 30 seconds off, but so far this start has been less than ideal.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, with regards to my PB, I did it a while ago, and new strats have been found since then. So realistically, if I played well, I could make up that time that I lost. And still PB. Anyway, so for the first sort of 45 to 50 minutes, we will just pretty much be collecting light seeds. because we want to collect as many as possible before healing the fertile grounds. Now, some of them we just have to heal for reasons which we can explain once we get there. But aside from those, we want to avoid healing them as much as possible.
For some of your narration, I was focusing on tricks and stuff. Have you mentioned why we need light seeds?
No, I have not. Feel free to explain.
Sure. So there are 4 abilities in this game you have to unlock in order to, well, in order to beat the levels, but more importantly, in order to beat the bosses. Oh, nice. And in order to get those, you have to get light seeds. That's kind of like their metric for controlling how quickly you beat the game. And each level has 45 light seeds. Some of them are trapped behind the abilities you unlock with them, so you may have to retread old ground to get certain light seeds. We won't be doing any of that, I don't think, really, but long story short is what we're doing is going to let us get 3 of the 4 abilities before we even start the game, in a sense, which is going to significantly speed up how quickly we can go through the bosses.
Yep. And you may have seen on my screen while Sam was talking, me teleporting around a bunch. That was the ledge warp. So basically, hang on, I have to count. Sorry, I was doing another airwalk to skip a double jump. But basically, if you hang from a ledge, just like I'm doing now, I literally just went there to hang from that ledge, you gain ledge storage there. And then if you hang partially off a beam, you will teleport to where that ledge is. And yeah, so that's basically it for the ledge warp. And then if you remember earlier when I talked about the airwalk occurs when you try to ledge warp to the beam that you're already on. Also, when you're ledge warping, you can interrupt the ledge warp midway through, like I did just now, and just stand up, which is very useful. So in that particular instance, I ledge warped from that beam there to there, and I stopped it midway to end up on this platform where we can collect more light seeds. And the reason I paused the bunch, you'll see Sam doing this as well soon enough, is that by pausing and unpausing we can advance the game frame by frame so that we can time precisely when we need to interrupt the ledge warp, because otherwise it would be a frame perfect trick.
Right, you have to do that to the other direction.
Yeah, so the way the ledge warping and airwalking works is a bit more complicated than what we've explained so far, because there are some shenanigans with, like, sometimes ledge warps only work from one side of a beam, some beams it doesn't work at all, sometimes you can ledge warp but not airwalk. It's complicated, but
Also, the frame rate matters. There are warps and walks you can do on the consoles that you can't do on the PC.
right.
Funnily enough, the first speedrun of this game ever done was a segmented run, and the guy who did that, Afox, he actually, his PC it was back in the day, his PC wasn't really powerful enough to completely handle this game. He was able to do tricks that we can't do anymore, because nowadays our PCs run the game too fast.
So this area is Martyr's Tower. It's a bit of an unusual one because a lot of the platforming is vertical rather than horizontal, and So realistically, you're supposed to use a power plate to like climb the tower, but we're just gonna clip inside with a corner clip. And the corner clip, by the way, if you remember the drop glitch from earlier, so as a reminder, that's during the transition between walking and grinding, you can jump in any direction. Well, turns out if you walk off a ledge and you walk towards a wall, the prince will ignore that wall's collision and clip inside it, but then with the drop glitch, you can jump in any direction. And by jumping while you're inside the wall, you can preserve being inside the wall and get out of bounds.
Took me 2 tries on the windmill warp, but I didn't have to go get storage again, so it's not too bad.
Nice. Hopefully I can remember the Martyr's Tower route, because I haven't done it very many times.
Oh, if there's one different than what's in World Record, then I don't know, because I'm just using the one from World Record.
I'm fairly sure it was in World Record, but like I haven't played in a while, and it got found very recently before World Record. I think I did it correctly.
Something we haven't really talked about yet, I don't think, is this game's kind of famous for, and there was a lot of mixed feelings about the retry system. So there is no game over, there is no health bar, you can't die. If you fall, you just respawn at the last place you were standing. And whether or not you like that as a gameplay element aside, from a speedrunning perspective, it's quite useful because we can get light seeds and do various other things by dying, and it's only a small cost of time and nothing else.
Yeah, so as I'm about to do just now, I collected all these light seeds, and then I'm just gonna kill myself to go back. I don't actually have to travel back, and it's very useful.
So that's an interesting strategic point for the run, I guess, is understanding what counts as like safe ground, places where you can return to, so that you can manipulate that and try and warp back as far as you need to.
Right. Sometimes you can stand on what looks like solid ground, but if you're on the very corner, the game doesn't realize it's solid ground. We've done this once in windmills already. And then, so you don't walk back to that place, you walk back to somewhere else where you were standing before. And a double jump skip here, very easy, we literally just do a wall run. Some of them are considerably easier than others. And a lot of these seeds are not even possible to get without dying. In theory, they should be, but because, again, we don't have double jump, we just death abuse to get them.
Nice. Died trying to climb up the tower after the corner clip.
So, there's a seed right there that I missed. You can get it, but it's quite precise. I'm not gonna try it again because, as I said, it is quite precise. Usually we just get, if we miss it, we just get another seed later on in the run.
Interesting point of note, we're both using both controller and mouse and keyboard, but for very different reasons. Nice, got my ledge drop there. I personally prefer controller, although coming back to this game after a very long break, I am actually of the mindset that mouse and keyboard has a higher skill ceiling for this game. I don't believe that about all of the games I speedrun, but this one, I'm starting to understand how important the camera is for controlling where you go, which I know sounds like a weird thing to say, but what I mean by that is you wouldn't expect it at first, but like which way your camera is facing determines which direction he wall runs in sometimes. And some other various strange behaviors that are tied to the camera that I don't think I fully understood were tied to the camera before. But in either case, I am more comfortable on controller, so I'm using it for general movement. Smath is more comfortable on keyboard. And then he's using a controller because they forgot to give a keybind for resetting the camera for mouse and keyboard. It just doesn't exist. And then I'm using mouse and keyboard for the tricks and skips that require either really precise aim or really precise movement.
Right.
So we're almost reversed in that aspect, which is kind of funny.
I'd also point out that I use controller at a few other points in the run, not just for resetting camera, because later on in the run, there will be points where we just can't move the camera, and thus mouse and keyboard, well, it loses all of its advantages pretty much, and I switch the controller there because it's just easier. Anyway, I'm gonna be quiet now, because in order to skip this next double jump, we're gonna have to do an airwalk, which is 101 steps long, and I have to count that, so bear with me.
17.
Okay, so I counted correctly. If you miscount that airwalk just by one step, you will die and have to do it again, unless you do 360 beam. But it's better to not, trust me.
Yeah, that's a. There are a couple moments in this run where things aren't necessarily hard, but they're very tense. Because if you make even a simple mistake, you cost yourself up to multiple minutes of time.
Yeah, I've lost several runs on that airwalk, for example. So an interesting thing to point out as well with that airwalk is that 70 steps in, there's a load trigger, and in theory you could start counting from 70 so that you wouldn't have to count to 101 from scratch. And Sam does that. I don't, because I'm worried that I might miss the load trigger, and then I won't be able to continue, essentially, because I won't know where to stand up.
Yeah, I live with that fear every time I do it, but I just find that to be a better bet than counting to 101 without making a single error. As funny as that sounds.
Yeah, counting is actually quite difficult, ironically.
It's just so it's so difficult to keep your mind focused on it for me. Like, I'll just have an intrusive thought at some point, and then I'll be like, wait, what number was I at?
Yeah. But yeah, generally, I count from 1, and then I use the load trigger at 70 to double check that I counted correctly.
Speaking of that, I'm about 15-20 seconds out from starting that airwalk. So.
Okay. I'll keep quiet.
Alright, here we go. Just waiting on the load trigger now. Yep, I don't think I counted wrong. I think I literally just stood up a little too quickly on the
Oh no.
like I stood up at exactly 101 or something, and it didn't. I was a little too far out.
Yeah, I've done that before as well.
Here we go again.
Also, Vin, about the grass disappearing, that's just a visual glitch that happens. I don't know why it happens. It happens fairly frequently for me.
Yeah, this is why back in the day I used to just stare at my timer and know what time to stand up based on what time I started. But that you have to like wait until a second passes to start your movement to do that, so it's a little less optimal.
Forgot the setup there, but remembered it eventually. No, the grass has disappeared again.
Alright, we got there.
Nice.
So thankfully that's the only airwalk that I count. I think Smath does at least one other, but for all the other ones I have visual cues that I use, so I have no fear of missing those.
Yeah, except for like ones that are like 5 steps long, I assume you count those as well.
I mean, yeah. That's cool. My controller just like desynced for a second. I've never had that happen. It just kept vibrating and none of the inputs worked, but then it came back all of a sudden.
And hello, VPOP, by the way. Former world record holder for this game.
Hey, VPOP.
That was before barrier skip was found. So the run was quite a bit longer back then because we actually had to, well, I say we, I wasn't in the community at the time, but the runners had to actually heal fertile grounds in order to collect light seeds. Okay,
Very nice, VPOP. Well, we appreciate you being here.
So this is the the other airwalk that I'm gonna have to count to 27, by the way. Okay, that's done. 27. 27 is Sam's favorite number, by the way. He really loves airwalks that are 27 steps long.
Yeah, a couple years ago, or I guess it was a year and... Oh, okay, sure game. It was a year and like 8 months ago, something like that. I was in Germany to present this game at a marathon, and the trick we were using to skip a certain part of the game at that point was there we go, was not nearly as stable or reliable as it is these days, and the PC I was running on was behaving a little bit differently than my one that I'm using here at home does, so I ended up having to redo a very lengthy airwalk over and over again, trying to get it to work, and it ended up wasting a solid like 20 minutes or something like that. It was super fun. But, you know, I used self-deprecating humor to keep the audience entertained throughout it, so I think in the end we were okay. Rip. So, to give an idea, me screwing up that 101 walk cost me, it looks like about 1:40, a little less than 1:40. I'm probably just going to keep bleeding time for the first half of this run because my PB had a pretty decent first half, but it did not have a very decent second half, so I should hopefully be able to pull it back in as we keep going.
I think same with my PB. If I remember correctly, it was months ago, but so I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. And plus, recently, well, fairly recently, we found a new discovery with the fights, so I should save 27 seconds there. Also 27, huh? Oh fuck,
So
I fucked up.
the real question is, are you going to go for the second mental realm skip?
Yeah, sure. Done it. I'm fairly sure I've done it in all my marathons. Maybe not in PoPRuns last year.
Oh my.
I think I failed it in SpeedCon, but then went for it again.
I knew this was going to happen. This is classic marathon. I derusted loose leaf for a week, and everything was going really well, but I wasn't like taking the time to learn setups. I was just like, oh, I know how to do this, and then it would work 3 times in a row. And now, of course, here the day of, every time I try and do something, it doesn't work. So
Typical. So not on the vine movement, you may have noticed that I mash space. You can probably hear it every time I'm on a vine. And So in theory, you're not really supposed to do that. At least I don't think that was intended. But basically when you press space when you're near the edge of a vine, or jump, whatever your jump key is, you will wall run off the vine. And if you're not quite at the edge but very near it, then the prince will walk a bit faster before he does the wall run. And even if we're not near the edge, we use that walking faster thing to get through the vine quicker. The downside of that is that if you spam jump for too long, you will do a wall run and then immediately jump off the wall and kill yourself. So you have to be really careful about your timing when you mash jump from a vine.
Here's another great example of something that I was actually having trouble with on day one of my D-Rusts, and then all of a sudden it started working, and I was like, oh, I guess I know how to do it. I didn't. See if I can...
that one.
Yeah, I'll just do the slower method here, because I've already wasted enough time.
Personally, that slower method I used to do, and then I used to find it really difficult, so I found the faster method because it was easier. I started doing it. Not even because it was faster, but because it was easier.
Oh, I clearly don't understand something about it because I've never found it easier. It's way harder for me to get that to work. Like, the other one's just pretty much free, and the one that you do in World Record is like super precise for me, so.
Yeah, and for me, the one you do is super precise, so. I mean, whatever works, I suppose.
Yeah. At the end of the day. Well, that probably cost me another minute 30, so. Off to a great start.
This is Robbie's seed that I'm about to get. I used to hate it, but then I figured out how to get it without dying, and yeah, it's fine now.
What seed is Robbie's seed?
It's like just as you enter City Gate, there's one on a slide.
Oh, right, I love that one.
Oh, do you?
The movement's so clean there. Like, where you just mash jump, basically, and hold different directions afterwards.
Yeah, but then you die.
No, that seed just, yeah, again, that's just something that seed always works for me, so.
I mean, it works for me now that I've spent hours trying to get it consistently, but back in the day, I would die like half the time.
Come on, Alika, I need you to get the hell out of my way. Yeah, Alika. Smash, she won't get off the fence.
Kill yourself.
I guess. Ah, yes, the solution to every problem.
Yes. To be clear, we are not advocating suicide. That is simply what you must do in this run sometimes. Also, there's the warrior. We can just boop. Again, we don't have to do that, but it's just for fun. Yeah, only kill yourself if Alika can save you.
So, construction yard airwalk took me a solid, like, 9 tries for no apparent reason. Not really sure what I was doing wrong, but...
You might have, like, gone a bit too far right. Like when you have to hold right for just a moment and then stand up. You were probably
yeah,
holding for too long, because it's...
I was actually worried I was holding for too little because I don't know the timing and I was doing it almost instantly, but...
As long as he moves to the right, it should work. So as long as you don't hold it for so little that he doesn't move at all, you're good.
Interesting. Okay, good to know. then I have no idea what I was doing. But I'm sure if we watch back the tape, I was doing something wrong.
So we're kind of nearing the end of the initial pre-temple section, where we just collect seeds and do nothing else. So right now I'm entering, I think, Tower of Ahriman? One of the towers, I think it's Tower of Ahriman. We'll come back here a couple of times, and then go back to Temple. So right now we're just heading into this area. We're gonna quickly get some seeds and then go back to Tower of Ahriman. And then do that with another tower and come back to Tower of Ahriman again. Here you're supposed to double jump off this slide, but we can jump like that and enter this bottom section so we can pick up some seeds. And then this trick that I did, if you've never seen it before, I can assure you it's harder than it looks. It's not hard, but it's not as simple as just wall running up. You kind of have to wall run up on some collision, then hit a ceiling, and then when you hit the ceiling, your slightly elevated position gets preserved, and then you start another wall run. It's... yeah. I certainly wouldn't expect someone to catch that if they've never seen the run before.
Yeah, once you know how to do it, it's not too bad, but like for a while I was stubborn and refused to like take the time to practice it, and I would just go for it and I would miss it like 2/3 of the time.
Anyway, so we just went back through Tower of Ahriman. Now we're going into yet another tower to pick up some seeds, and these will be the last seeds that we get before we go into the temple and unleash the end of the world. Because eventually we do need to unleash the end of the world in order to complete the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. The levels are split into 4 quadrants, one belonging to each of the 4 bosses. And they're all laid out very differently, and because of that, we can only really interact with certain ones without double jump. So the towers, for example, belong to the warrior, and we can't really do much with those without either double jump or one of the 4 powers that we're gonna use the light seeds to get. But the Alchemist and the Hunter, their levels are oh, I didn't think that was gonna work. Their levels are much more horizontal, and you can get around a lot of the places where you're supposed to use the powers. But unfortunately, that's not true for either the Concubine or the Warrior, because their levels are very vertical and there's not a whole lot we can do.
Yeah, so for example, this tower that I'm at right now, I can collect the seeds that are right here, but I can't actually climb it and collect the seeds that are on top. That wall run that I did is also much harder than it looks. Sam is probably going to use a setup for that. I don't, because I practiced it for like 2 hours.
Oh, no, I've actually just been going for that, and once again I've been getting it, so I'll probably
okay, fair enough.
I'll probably spend 20 minutes there, but no, I don't have a setup.
Well, I was using your setup from back when you were running this like 2 years ago. And then I saw that Vin was doing it without a setup. And I was like, oh, I never even thought of that. And I do that nowadays. Anyway, I've finished collecting all the seeds. We're back in Tower of Ahriman. And honestly, I'm done. I'm gonna take a break because I'm tired. You know, we've been collecting seeds for a while. So I'll just quit the game. Actually, no, I've changed my mind. I'll come back in. You know, I shouldn't really take a break during the marathon.
I thought you were about to like give me a handicap or something, but I see you're just being you.
I don't remember the setup for this. Shoutouts to being rusty. Is it the third one or the second one? I hope it's the second one.
Spoiler alert. It was not the second one.
Okay, I think it's the third one based on my position. I really don't know.
It's the third one. I'm not trying to mess you up. It is literally the third one.
Okay. And nice, I got it in one frame. Anyway, so what I actually did there, I didn't just quit for fun. The reason I quit the game and then immediately entered it again is that when you do that, your ledge storage resets to the coordinates 0, 0, 0. Which means that if we ledge warp towards 0, 0, 0. Ah, fuck, I messed this up. And because it just so happens to be that the temple, which is where we're going, is near 0, 0, 0. That ledge warp helps us get back there faster. However, we can't go all the way to 0, 0, 0 because it wouldn't be loaded, so we interrupt the ledge warp midway and jump into a load trigger, so it still saves some time. Anyway, we're approaching the temple now. There is a door to it, and we could open it, like the switch is right there. But, I mean, we're speedrunners. We don't open doors. We're just going to clip under it.
And while you're focusing on that, I was going to say, you might be wondering how on earth we know where the load trigger is so we can stand up at the exact right time to load the area. And I would love to know that as well. At DrepFox, what is wrong with you? How did you figure that out?
Alright, so this is a long, kind of dramatic corridor, and I suppose jumping under the floor in the long dramatic corridor does make it a tad more dramatic. We do have to pop out though, which I nearly failed. It's fine.
Nice, nice. Appreciate it, Ven. I'm not going to win, but the support is noted.
So at the end of the world we'll get unleashed soon, because this tree here holds a dark god called Ahriman Prisoner. If you watched the D&D session yesterday, you'll know what this is on about. Anyway, there's a dad fight here. This is Elika's father.
Father, no, I beg
Yeah, it's not like an abusive dad fight. It's like that's just what we call it because we're fighting her dad. Maybe it would be more professional if we called them king fights.
We call it dad fight in SOT.
No, Father, no.
Anyway, so the fight that I did there, it's not hard. There is just a combo that in theory you could just spam over and over again. However, he can block you. And if we want a consistent way to do it, well, it's impossible to do it consistently because it's RNG, he can block you. However, with the blocks, there are exactly 8 different ways in which the fight can go in terms of how many hits you do and how many times he can block you. And I've memorized all of them and know how to change my attacks accordingly if he blocks. That sounds really complicated. Realistically, that saves at most like 2 or 3 seconds and it takes like hours to learn, but I had a lot of fun finding out how to do that. I assume Sam will just spam the normal combo.
Oh yeah, I don't know any of the. I haven't learned any of the variations. For any of the fights, I'm just gonna do the full double Elika triple sword.
Yeah, but that fight is particularly hard.
Nice. I got vine locked, where it forces you to climb on a vine when you don't want to.
So this is one example of where I use the controller because we can't move the camera here. And it's just a little bit easier to get about with the controller. And now we've got a bunch of cutscenes. So because we've already collected so many light seeds before entering the temple, we're gonna now unlock a bunch of powers, and usually you're supposed to unlock them one at a time, and every time you unlock one there's a cutscene. However, now there are just gonna be cutscene after cutscene after cutscene, because we're gonna unlock them all at once, so we'll be here for like a solid 10 minutes. In the meantime, we can have a look at what Sam is doing. Sam, what are you doing?
I screwed up. I don't know the positioning on that backtrack there to get those seeds, so I ended up having to do a death abuse to get the first one. That's what I'm doing.
Did you get currently the 2 seeds where you like go the opposite direction?
Yeah, I got those first.
Oh, okay.
I'm currently plus 521, so if things keep up, I'm definitely not finishing underestimate, but like I said, I do have time to save at the end, so it's gonna be close, but I might be able to make it.
I was on my way home. I had more gold than you could. I'd have had wine, women. I'd have had carpets this thick. Now I'm stuck with an angry god and a crazy woman.
Speaking of the combat, though, we haven't really talked about it much because it hasn't come up yet, but in this game, the damage output is, how do I want to say this? Every attack you do in a combo does more damage than the attack before it. And because of that, for a long time, we assumed that the longest combo you could do without any block RNG would be the most consistent, fastest thing. But because the animations are so flashy, we recently figured out that if you do a shorter unblockable combo over and over again, it is actually faster in many places. Which I think Smath loosely alluded to earlier, but that's kind of like the more detailed version of why he'll be saving time on his fights.
Right. Also, by the way, we've unlocked double jump now. So.
Oh, okay, that'll make the rest of this really easy for me. I'll start using that right now.
Yeah, I say we. To be fair, in a solo run, I'd also say we. That's just how you talk.
We are Venom.
But yeah, that was the green power play. That's the first power that we unlocked. We're gonna unlock 2 more before we continue with the run. But yeah, long story short, with the combos, we just found a combo with a higher DPS recently. It does less damage, but it has a higher damage per second rating.
Yeah, and that segmented run I mentioned, he actually did the longest possible combo because he didn't have to worry about block RNG since he was pre-recording and he could just try over and over again. But I would actually be curious to see if the longest combo is better DPS than what we found.
Well, I suspect that the best DPS, if you go for blockable attacks, would be the combo that we do with a couple of sword hits, which are blockable.
Right, probably.
So you'd have like SSS, ESE, JSSS, if you kept track of that.
Yeah, so because we play this game on multiple platforms, and the PC just uses Xbox colors, it doesn't use Xbox symbols. we abbreviate all of the attack combos to the first letter of what they correspond to. E for Elika, J for jump, etc.
Yeah, sword for... Oh crap, I'll focus. Another dad fight with the 8 RNG variants.
I did not get stuck at that wall run, so at least there's that.
Alright, I got the second best RNG both times. Anyway, so yeah, E for Elika, J for jumps, S for sword, and G for gauntlet. But yeah, otherwise it would just...
I
Sorry, go
assumed
on.
G was for grab.
Oh. Yeah, I think some people say grapple as well. It all works.
Are we supposed to finish with 392?
Yes.
Nice. I know how to play this game. I'm gonna try to clip under the temple door probably 3 times, and then I'm all going to say, never mind.
The temple door clip is probably, to me, the second hardest trick in the game. The first one being barrier skip. That is the really fast version of barrier skip, which took me like a year to learn consistently. And even now, I don't get it consistently. It's just so hard. But yeah, temple door clip is also a very, very difficult trick.
Doesn't mean it will be true. The vision of you falling. Armin's
In
trying to
general,
erase
anything
the
with
past
ultimate
from
glitch,
Armin.
which is that glitch where you
What
jump
they
under the
can't be
floor,
true.
is
No
very
one can control
difficult.
the future.
Because the jumping under the floor itself is completely free, you just jump. But in order to navigate like tight spaces and jump under doors and stuff, it's very difficult because you can't just walk, you constantly have to be jumping and you have to time your jumps correctly. Sometimes you have to delay your jumps to sink into the ground slightly. So that you could clip under the door, but then if you delay too much, you'll just fall off. You have to get your direction perfect. There's a lot of nuance to it.
I'm so confused by the warp back to temple right now. Like,
I'm
I feel like I'm doing
sorry.
this. I feel like I'm doing the same setup every time that I've been doing for days, and it worked once, didn't work twice, and also even though I paused 3 frames and then I started mashing jump for some reason, it didn't load, so I was clearly in the wrong spot.
Possibly you didn't mash fast enough.
Currently I can't even get the ledge warp to work. It's only worked 1 out of 4 tries.
Fantastic.
Yeah, like I'm not in the right spot. I'm like he's grabbing onto the fence instead of grabbing onto off the fence. When you get off the fence, are you supposed to face to the left or to the right? I thought it was to the right.
What do you mean? You face away from the fence, don't you? So when you get off the fence, the setup that I use is there's like a column in the background. Or perhaps you've done it, I don't know.
No.
There's a column in the background, and then I line up the right side of the prince's head with the right side of that column. But yeah,
It turns out I was facing the wrong direction. I think it's working now. I'm just screwing up the pause buffering.
Okay.
So go ahead and talk about where you're at. I will struggle with this.
I mean, I'm in cutscene hell or cutscene Christmas or whatever you want to call it. So there's not much to talk about.
Fair enough. Please work. Hey.
Nice one.
Rip.
So what Sam is about to do there is reverse barrier skip. I didn't mention that when I was doing it. So barrier skip is much harder than reverse barrier skip because you have to like clip out of bounds and stuff. But turns out because the barriers only work in one direction, in order to go back you just literally do some jumps and you just jump through the barriers. With a setup, it's very easy.
The tree didn't matter. My father
believe I
had
found that
broken
setup.
the lock that held
There
the
are
He broke it to
increasingly
get in.
fewer things in the run that I found as the
Yeah.
years go on, so I'll take
Vin,
credit where I can get it.
yeah, Vin found the trick, you found the setup.
We can't
Right,
let Ahriman
right.
escape.
Yeah, back in the day I was the only person running this, and I was doing everything from scratch, except for the fact that I had that segmented run to go off of. But now we've got at least 5 or 6 people have put quite a bit of time into this game. No, a little too soon on that.
Alright, so I'm done with the cutscenes. Actually, never mind, there's one more. But then we'll be done with the cutscenes. And finally, we go out into the world. This is what the end of the world that I was referring to looks like. As you can see, everything is all dark. It's not actually called the end of the world. That's just what I was calling it. And how's Sam doing with the temple door clip?
I got 2 attempts in on it. I'm trying to get my 3rd and final attempt, but I keep not getting ultimate glitch.
Can this day get any worse?
They're the corrupted, Ahriman's chosen few. They ruled here 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, so I think you're pointing the camera left. Like,
That was
generally I go forward a bit before pointing it left, because otherwise it's harder to get ultimate glitch from my experience.
Interesting. Also, when I have never gotten your variant of this. When I delay underneath the door, he just dies. Like he does not keep ultimate glitch. He just falls to his death every time. The only way I've ever gotten this to work is by clipping in at the door, but on the correct side.
I think if that happens, you're too far from the door. I could be wrong though.
Interesting.
Oh, wait, let me try to show this off. Can I do? Ah, no. Alright, whatever.
Oh, well.
I wanted to show off the auto-aim thing.
I will climb up here and turn the wheel of shame like a plebe.
A plebe?
Yes, plebe.
Pleb.
Why do I get
The word is plebeian, so at least where I'm from, that's how it's pronounced. So,
I've never heard anyone say that before.
so in England, it's plebeian.
I've never heard that word either. I just say pleb.
Oh well, that's what plebe is short for plebeian. If I'm remembering correctly, it's a role in the caste system. It's like a low-level person who doesn't own land.
Alright, so I'm doing the airwalk now, so I'll be here a while. So if you've played this game before, you'll know that this is City Gate, and I'll tell you now that we're we're airwalking to the warrior fight, as in past the Black Gate. And if you've played this game before, you'll know that that's very far, and you'll be correct. This is a 4-minute airwalk, but miraculously, it lines up perfectly for us to hit the load trigger at the warrior fight, and then skip the Black Gate as well. Now, this airwalk saves something like 10 minutes. Now, it's not because we can skip the Black Gate. We can skip the Black Gate by other means. However, what saves time here is that as well as skipping the Black Gate, we skip the use of the blue plate, which we haven't acquired yet. And as such, we can kill the warrior without using the blue plate. And when we kill him, we get an extra 25 light seeds, which we can then use to purchase the blue plate. So we collect 25 fewer light seeds in the run. And that saves something like 10 minutes. If you were paying attention, you would have noticed that it usually doesn't take 10 minutes to pick up 25 light seeds back when we were picking up light seeds before. However, once you unleash this end of the world and start healing fertile grounds, it does take much longer to collect them. So
Yeah, because
as
you have
such,
to
it
factor in the
saves.
time it takes to beat the level before you can start collecting light seeds, and there just aren't that many levels that are short enough for that to be a good idea.
Yeah. And so when this trick was found, we cut out a level that we used to heal. So we used to heal 3 levels. Nowadays we only heal 2, so that saves a bunch of time. But then on top of that, there were a bunch of other miscellaneous time saves that just added up.
You want to
Go on.
good.
I didn't have anything significant to say.
Well, I was going to give you something significant to say. I was going to say, do you want to tell them what the run would be like if we could skip another boss without the blue plate?
Ah. So, if we could... So this trick that we're doing now, this is warrior blueless, because we killed the warrior without the use of the blue plate. The only other boss that uses the blue plate is the concubine. And if, in theory, we could kill her without the use of the blue plate, that would be concubine blueless, then we would not have to acquire the blue plate at all. And thus we could finish the game with 340, I think, light seeds instead of 540. So when this skip was found, we cut out 25 light seeds and that saved 10 minutes. Think about what another 175 or so would save. It's not linear, you can't just multiply 10 by like 7 or whatever, but it would save a bunch of time and we'd probably be able to get sub 2.
Yeah, I mean we got over 340 light seeds before we even came back to the temple.
Yeah, we had 392, so
yeah, and that took Smath probably like 48 to 50 minutes.
45.
Oh, okay. So, screw me, I guess. But 45 minutes, and then our estimate for this run adds an additional hour and 15 on top, or an hour 45? Is that how math works? Yes, because we said 230, 235, something like that.
235 is our estimate.
Okay, so yeah, like an hour and 50 minutes left after that. And that's mostly because of that boss. If we didn't have to get the seeds to get the blue for that boss, we would pretty much just need to run to each boss and kill them, which would be significantly quicker.
And so we've spent quite a lot of time trying to find concubine blueless, and it's pretty much impossible. Like this, it comes in 3 parts. First, we have to get to the tower where the boss is at, and then go through one phase of the fight, climb the tower, get through another phase, and climb the tower again. So there are 3 parts to this theoretical skip. Get to the spire, climb a level, and then climb another level. And it took us like a year, but we did find part 1. And it was also with an airwalk, which was something like 4 minutes long as well. And the way it was found is I literally checked every beam in the game, every single one, to see if we could airwalk to the load trigger where that boss is at. And there was exactly 1 beam which worked. And of course it would be highly inefficient to attempt to actually do airwalks from every beam. So to be a bit more fancy, I used Cheat Engine to get the coordinates of the beam. And if I can get the coordinates of 2 points on the beam, I can get the precise line that the beam is on. And then with some maths and some programming, I can put that data into a program which can then calculate how far away from the load trigger it is. And yeah, so then I had to go through every single beam in the game, input 2 sets of coordinates into a program for each one, and it would tell me how far it would be. And yeah, so that
linear algebra.
Yes. So it worked. We've done part 1. It took us like a year. Parts 2 and 3, yeah.
Probably never gonna happen if we're being realistic.
Yeah. Realistically, we'd probably need to find a new glitch.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say not unless we find some very different glitches.
It would be great to find some kind of launching glitch, because right now we don't really have anything to travel upwards. We have various glitches to travel kind of, you know, with an airwalk we can travel horizontally long distances. There's the ledge fall, with which we can travel far down. There's nothing to travel up. So maybe if we found such a glitch, we could do this skip.
2 things. 1, I think I got best RNG on Dad 2. 2, I would be ultra sad if this game got a height glitch before TFS did. it would ruin my day.
Doesn't
possibly
TFS?
I mean, it has collision boosting, but that's like you can't use it for anything valuable at this point.
Fair enough.
Like if we did find, like, just say we found some way to like airwalk or something, we could. Observatory skip would exist. Lots of things would happen. Like it would probably bring the game under an hour easy. The classical music obviously wasn't working out, so I've switched to something heavier. We'll see if that makes the difference.
Anyway, by the way, the fight that I just had, if you watched the D&D session last night, that was the final boss, the warrior. But this is 1,000 years after that, and this time we killed him for good. Well, we do see him in Epilogue again, which you would know if you watched my Epilogue run on Friday. But it's not actually him, it's just the shapeshifter which turns into the warrior.
I don't like how complicated the lore of PoPRuns 5 is. Is there going to be a quiz at the end? I was too busy preparing for all of my presentations to actually watch any of it, so I'll probably fail.
You can't die honorably. You can just die. If he'd really wanted to fight Ahriman...
I have 3 submissions this year, and all 3 of them are 2K8 or related.
I also had 3.
So there's an enemy that spawns if we're not fast enough. We can just kill him before he spawns. Now coming up is the City of Light cutscene. It's like a minute and a half long or something. However, we can skip it. This particular skip is actually called Reverse City of Light cutscene skip, because realistically we would have come from that direction first and skipped it already, and then we'd have to skip it again with this corner clip, which I got. Nice.
Yeah, this route for this category has undergone so many revisions that a lot of the things that we call X skip are like reverse X skip. So it's kind of weird.
But yeah, realistically, the first instance of the City of Light cutscene skip was with that 4-minute airwalk that I did. But obviously we never even got to see the cutscene. It wasn't even ever loaded. However, if we actually tried to walk to the warrior fight, there are other ways to skip that cutscene, but they're much more difficult.
Oh god, you just gave me PTSD. I forgot that existed.
Yeah,
oh,
I'm so
no.
glad that doesn't exist anymore. It was terrible.
Absolutely terrible. So many lost runs.
I think at some point I just started watching the cutscene because
Yeah, because it's just terrible. Yeah.
yeah. Like it's so terrible that we would voluntarily watch a 1.5 minute cutscene instead of doing that.
The thing was, it was so precise, and you were so terrified of failing it that you would take extra time to set it up. So then, if you failed it, it wasted even more time.
Yeah.
And of course, the way it works, if you fail it, you have to watch the cutscene anyway. So you're just literally adding time on at that point.
That's another one crossed off.
Ah, crap. You can jump around these columns here, but I messed up and I was a bit too high on that wall and the auto-aim took me to the column anyway. That's fine, lost like 5 seconds maybe, if that. So this is Coronation Hall. This is the first level that will actually be healing. There'll be one more later. And the reason we healed this one... Oh, actually, let me do this corner clip first. Okay, so we clip out of
The reason we heal this one is because we are going to use it to fast travel back here later once we have the blue power so that we can kill the concubine, because this level connects to her boss arena.
Yes.
And since it saves us a bunch of time to fast travel, we also get the benefit of all the light seeds in this level since we're already taking the time to beat it.
Yeah, so pre-tempo, this is one of the few levels that we have not yet visited. We've been very close, we've been in the level next to it. But this level, we have not touched yet. And as such, all the light seeds are still here. They will be here when we heal it, rather. But you get the sense of how long it takes to heal a level now. And the reason I did that corner clip there, about a minute ago, was that there's a yellow plate section where you can like fly into the level, and it's exactly the same. It takes you to the same place. It's just longer. We can get there faster by clipping out of bounds and double jumping.
Something that I just went through a vision, and it occurred to me, did we mention that we delete the cutscenes?
No.
Yeah, so in all the other Prince of Persia games, at least all the ones we can without causing crashes, we delete the cinematic video files from the installation directory just to save time. And in this game, I realized you could do that too, but it only saves like 37 seconds or something.
46, I think it was.
46, yeah. It saves a very small amount of time. But, you know, we do it in all the other games, and this run used to be over 3 hours long, so we were like, well, we'll take any time save we can get, and we just decided to allow it. So if you choose not to delete them, you just get to subtract some time from your final time. But if you're wondering why there's cutscenes where our characters literally stare at each other for like a minute and don't say anything, that's why. A video file is supposed to be playing, is what's going on.
Yeah. And then I think, so VPOP, the former world record holder, used to play on console, and as such, from her runs, we would just, well, I say we again, I wasn't there, but 46 seconds would be subtracted from her runs.
Right, so it was fair across platforms. Alright, and thus begins my 4-minute long airwalk. At my last split, I was plus 9 minutes and 12 seconds. Feels good.
Oh, nice! I golded this split. By
Sam, let me just say, we as a community still love and appreciate you, although you're essentially being annihilated right here. So, but don't
so
let that
sorry.
drag you down.
That is what I signed up for. I'm into it. I appreciate your support, Toka.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so we've just healed Coronation Hall, and as you can see, the light seeds appeared, but that took us like several minutes, so you can see why we really want to avoid healing as many of these levels as possible. The
Eraser's being a smartass, and it's really tempting to tab out and move him to a random voice channel, but I'm sorry, you were saying legitimate things that matter.
Right, so I was saying casually, we actually need to heal all of the levels in order to finish the game. And the reason why we don't is not solely because of barrier skip. There are actually other skips, which are the Black Gate skips, that allow us to not have to heal any of the levels. So generally, each boss has 5 levels, and when we heal all 5 of them, the Black Gate unlocks, and we can go kill the boss. However, we can skip all 4 Black Gates by various different means, and as such we don't actually need to heal any of the levels. Some of them we do because it's beneficial for the route, but in theory we could finish the game without healing a single level because of the Black Gate skips. So the biggest time saves are the Black Gate skips, which mean that we don't have to heal any levels. Then there's barrier skip, which actually provides us a means to acquire light seeds without healing levels. And then there's the Blueless Warrior airwalk, which is the 4-minute airwalk that Sam is currently on. And that allows us to cut out 25 light seeds, which saves something like 10 minutes. So without any of those, the run would probably be like 4 hours long or something.
Yeah, so, Carl, gamer, I'm not here to race, I'm just here to chat and have fun. Smath is probably about 20 minutes ahead of me at this point, if not more. Because I'm 10 minutes behind my run, and my run was 10 minutes behind his world record. So, yeah, it's no longer an underdog. I'm just here to chill and have fun. I may not even finish my run, depending on what time Smath finishes at. Yeah, my first world record was a 3:47, I think. That was the first ever RTA run of this game. The segmented run's like a 3:20 something, isn't it?
Not sure.
Yeah, back when they did the when AFox and the people who helped him did the segmented run, they knew how to skip 2 of the Black Gates, I think.
And so did you.
And so did I, and then
and it was still nearly 4 hours long, so
it was still nearly 4 hours long, and then we figured out the drop glitches, ledge falling and jumping, that didn't exist for the segmented run, did it? I don't think it did.
Well, ledge falling or ledge warping?
Not ledge warping, that was in the segmented run, but I mean like when you drop off a ledge and you could, like how we skipped the Concubine Gate.
Oh, drop glitch.
Did we discover that, or was that in the run already?
It was definitely discovered when I came into the community, but I'm fairly new. I've only been here for like 2 years.
Yeah, I can't remember for sure if we found that or not. And I'm busy talking, and this is going terribly, so give me a second here.
Anyway, the most astute of you might have noticed that we've been in this area before. However, last time we were here, it was before before Temple, and as such it was before the end of the world thing that happened. So this area looked completely different. Well, the colors looked different, and there was no corruption. And we were skipping a bunch of double jumps and stuff. This time we can just do double jumps.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Carl. This is like the most stable game in Prince of Persia, basically, at least for the modern games, and it did crash on me today. That's only like the 3rd time in the 5 years I've been running this that it's ever crashed for me.
I don't think it's ever crashed for me.
Well, there's that one spot in Windmills we found where you can make it crash on purpose.
Right. I've never done that, though.
There was one time I got world record, and it crashed for me literally like within 10 seconds of the game ending.
Right.
Which is a little Monka-esque, but I think that's the only other time other than windmills that have crashed for me. It's very, very weird.
Anyway, so we're just gonna skip that enemy with this insane double jump. We get launched so much with this one because of the auto aim. And then we're entering Heaven's Stair, which we've also been in. We've collected some seeds here, but we've left some for afterwards, for when we heal it. And this is another level that we heal. So the reason we healed this one is because it's just more convenient to do the black gate skip here. Otherwise it's very difficult, and because it also allows us to get the seeds that are at the top of Heaven's Stair, it's actually also faster, I believe, to heal it. I'm almost certain it's faster, because we'd have to find seeds elsewhere if we didn't get these ones, so yeah, it's definitely faster.
I don't know why everyone's rooting for me to win, but it's appreciated, I guess. Also, I assume Smath just ran away the whole time, but this is my preferred warrior strat, is to just chest bump him until he dies.
Nice one, Toka. Ah, you can kill that enemy before that door closes, but you have to be extremely fast. I think like literally 1 frame too slow and you'll miss it. It's not a huge time save, it saves like 2 seconds because you can't move while the door is closing, but yeah, I failed it in that particular instance. But yeah, my router is in my room and my door is, I believe, locked. So the only way my dad could turn off the router is if he broke my door and then sprinted to my router and turned it off, which is
Nice.
highly unlikely.
I did not miss a single parry.
Nice one.
Got every parry. So I'm now plus 1002.
I'm plus
Things-
205.
Things are not shaping up well for me, so I'm probably not going to finish this run, but I will play along for now, just to relive some old memories.
Let's just make it fast. I don't want to end up with a lung full of corruption.
Well, if I do finish and you're still going, I can show off some glitches and stuff, like the ledge fall, for instance. That's not in any of the categories. Well, maybe all seeds will have some when we root it.
No, see, this is going to be the first year where none of my runs go over estimate, and it doesn't count as overestimate if I give up.
We still can't reach it.
Excuse me. I pressed W and he went right, so that was cool.
This game, to a much lesser extent than the Forgotten Sands, but they both suffer from a very similar problem, which is that they were designed to be too cinematic.
Let's get to the top before
The
the
developers basically designed them so that you can go in the direction you're supposed to, and if you try and go anywhere else, it breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there are very strong pulls in the direction of where the developer expects you to go, and if you try and not do that, the game kind of freaks out. I feel like that was typical of the era in which these were made about 10 years ago, but thankfully I don't see that often nowadays.
Yeah, the Sans trilogy is a lot more lenient in that regard. You can like jump to places you're not supposed to jump, and the game won't stop you.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So here's a fight. For this fight we can literally just throw the Alchemist off the ledge by doing a backwards throw combo.
Dude,
Oh,
the
and I
Alchemist
failed
just
it.
didn't even stand a chance against us in the speed run. Like in the actual game, I can understand why he might be a somewhat worthy adversary, but in the speed run, we literally just bully him. We just throw him all over the place. We just knock him off of ledges, and then like the one time we have to fight him, we just hit him an infant. Where is Elika? What is going on? Oh, she's cool. Elika is literally floating in the air in the middle of a fight. I can't use her. Okay.
I've had that
was
before.
worth it. It was worth it, you know? I'm glad I kept going up to this point so that everyone could see this.
I've had that before, but never in a run. I think it happens if you press Elika at the exact time that the fight starts.
So the present
Interesting.
becomes
I don't
the
think I
past.
did that, but
Our
it's
actions
possible.
now build the foundations for what comes next.
Anyway, I'm gonna do the Alchemist gate skip now.
Bullshit skip.
So we're gonna do a corner clip right here. And this one's probably the hardest corner clip in the game. Or in the run at least. Alright, got it. The reason why it's more difficult than the other ones is because generally for most corner clips, what we can do is point the camera upwards, and then when we begin the clip, the camera snaps to a consistent position. It's always consistent. It like snaps directly away from the ledge, and from there on we can have a consistent keyboard setup for how to do the jump basically after the corner clip. However, there, once the camera snaps, it snaps to such a position that if we press forward or if we press up on the keyboard to jump, then we will be too far left, and if we press up right, then we will be too far right. And as such, we can't use that technique. Instead, we have to point the camera down in order to avoid this camera snap, and then we have to do this like quite complicated setup in order to face precisely the right direction so that we can use a keyboard setup in order to get the jump correctly.
Honestly, I have half of an idea of what you're talking about, but that's not why I think that's a difficult trick at all. I think it's just how precisely you have to aim the camera in order for you to get clipped out at all.
Well, right, that's another thing too.
Alright, run's over.
What's up?
You know that glitch where if you die, you get teleported all the way back to where you enter the warrior fight?
Hang on, I was trying to focus on the fight. Repeat that again?
You know how after you do the newer warrior gate skip where you do the 4-minute airwalk, sometimes if you die, Elika takes you all the way back to the platform you land on after that airwalk.
Oh. I've never had that happen. I've seen other people do
yeah,
that
it's
like,
happened to me
twice.
3 times. It's happened to me
God.
3 times since I came back to the game.
So, wait, have you killed the warrior already?
Oh yeah, no, you can't continue the game after this happens. There's no way to get back to where you exit the City of Light.
Really?
Really? Yeah, no, the like the platform that you fight the warrior on is no longer loaded, so you can't go down there.
Right.
So yeah, runs
Wait,
over.
actually, if you... So there might be delay, so you might get this wrong. But if you go grind down to the right, where there's a platform, just grind down there. And... Oh, and then go to the end and jump to the wall on the left to get a horizontal wall run and jump again.
Oh, I see. You mean like drop glitch? And
No, you don't need to do a drop glitch. Just jump to that wall and point the camera to the right so you get a horizontal wall run, and then jump again.
What, like that wall over there? Can we even reach that? Maybe with a double jump, I guess.
Yeah, with a double jump.
I think honestly a drop glitch would probably be easier.
You can't do a drop glitch here.
Oh, can you not? Yep, no, you cannot.
No, you
Oh,
have to
well,
jump
I'm,
on.
I'm pretty resolved to quit, but
Well, try.
that wall is not loaded.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. It's not that it's not loaded, there's just no ledge there.
No, I mean the wall you're telling me to jump to is not loaded.
Oh, okay. Well, rip.
Told you to stay away from the
Well,
edge.
fantastic.
Maybe, but you won't live forever?
What a race.
You told him. Yeah, how's that
But
for
basically,
immortality?
if that were loaded, you could jump off it and end up on the platform where you get thrown just after the warrior fight finishes, and then just take the green plate up.
Hey Robbie, I got the glitch where even if you die multiple minutes after killing the warrior, you get teleported back to the spot where you entered the warrior fight. So my run is done. But yeah, just I don't want anyone to think I'm super bummed out about this or anything. I came in here knowing I was going to lose. There is currently no one on the planet who can even remotely compete with Smath. He has this game down to a T in a way that no one has ever had it before. So it was fun to sit here and chat, and I'll continue to commentate and stuff. But yeah, this was the expected result.
There's also no one on the planet at all who can now save your run.
Correct.
Like there is literally nothing you can do. Try saving and quitting, I guess.
I did the last time this happened to me. It just brings you back to the same spot.
Fantastic.
Let me see here. You're streaming on a hidden account D.
So I've just killed the Alchemist. After this, there's a cutscene right there, but we can skip it by fast traveling just before we hit the cutscene. This is the first instance of fast travel. The reason why we didn't just fast travel before that is that we couldn't. You can only fast travel from a healed level, and when we killed the Alchemist, we first had to return to this healed level, which is Heaven's Stair, before we could fast travel. And so we got just about far enough so that we could fast travel, but not quite far enough so that we'd hit the cutscene. And then we fast traveled to the temple and then immediately back, because we do need to come back here to collect light seeds and stuff.
Yeah, funnily enough, we have a way to skip every single post-boss cutscene because they all have one. But we found out the hard way that if you don't watch any of them, for some reason, the door to the final boss doesn't spawn.
It's actually specifically the warrior one, as
Oh, is
Brim
it?
found out the hard way.
Is it really specific? I did not know that.
Yeah, we all thought it was just that you had to watch one of them. But then Brim did an NMG run where he watched some other one and not the warrior one. Because I think in NMG it's faster to watch another one. And yeah, he couldn't complete the run. Which was also unfortunate because it was like the third run that he couldn't complete. I think one of them, like his recording software failed or something. And then another one, something else happened. I don't know, the game crashed or something. Maybe. I could be misremembering, but he definitely had those two runs which he couldn't finish.
Yeah, this is a big game. Many strange quirks.
Here we go.
But
Hello.
I've always enjoyed it. Back when I first started, it was considered a joke. It was so long that no one had ever really seriously considered doing it, and everyone just kind of made fun of it and made jokes about it, which is fair, because I mean honestly it deserves that criticism. But now that we've actually put a lot of work into it, it's almost the length of a reasonable game. So.
So right now we're heading to the Hunter fight, which aside from the Concubine, well, there are two bosses left. The Hunter is one of them. We're just gonna go there and then kill him and come back. We need to kill all 4 bosses in order to unlock the end game, so we're just gonna quickly go do that with the Hunter. He also is gonna give us 25 light seeds, which is gonna... Oh right, there's a cutscene here, I forgot. The 25 light seeds which will also help for unlocking the blue plate, which we haven't done yet. And we'll need to do that in order to kill the Concubine. There's an enemy there. If we're very fast, we can just ignore him. I think I wasn't I think that... Okay, yeah, okay, I messed up. So that I got that stagger. I should have worn a bit longer to not get the stagger. That's fine. Let's just get rid of him. We'll also be walking back here and skipping him in reverse, which is considerably easier.
I'm eating spicy sweet chili chips, Matt. I hope you approve.
It's not grapes, so I don't approve.
Oh, I thought this was your favorite flavor of sensations or whatever. That thing I bought that was just chips.
So this is the Black Gate skip for this fight. We skipped it with a corner clip. There's also a cutscene right next to the Black Gate, and we used to watch it. But if I'm not too rusty in order to skip it, we will skip it after the fight.
Yeah, I tried, couldn't skip it a single time, gave up.
It's not easy. I definitely spent multiple hours learning that one. Anyway, this is Hunterless skip, so instead of going to that red plate, we come here and go out of bounds. And then this is the most precise trick in the run. It's not the hardest, but it's the most precise. So let me line that up. Alright, that should be that should be good. Cool. So basically just from that correct position, when I aim the camera correctly, just the tiniest nudge to the left or right, like literally the smallest amount that you could possibly turn the camera by. If you turned by that amount to the left or the right, it wouldn't work. That's how precise that is. How do I do this fight? I have my notes, but these fight strats are new. Okay, so that's B2, B1. The Alchemist fights, I messed up the new strats completely because I was focusing on what was happening to Sam. Anyway, this one is B1, B2 as well. Oh, cool. Don't hit the wall. Okay, good. Oh, he hit the wall. What?
Just saying, the way that I started to memorize these before I gave up is mnemonics. You can B1 and B2 can be said as bun and boo, so you can just remember silly phrases like bun boo, boo, which is what this fight is, because at the end you just do boo twice. You're welcome.
Yes. This is literally my first run with the new strats. Like I've never done one before, so I just have them written down, and I didn't even look at my notes before starting, so. Right, so this one is B2 squared. Okay, so that's the hunter. He's gonna give us 25 light seeds. Then we're gonna go back to Heaven's Stair. The sole reason why we're gonna go back there is just so we could fast travel. We're gonna fast travel to the temple, acquire the blue plate,
I promise.
and then fast travel to Coronation Hall and go kill the concubine, which is the final boss. Or the final boss of the 4 bosses that we need to kill, and then we go into endgame.
Yeah, unfortunately, it turns out that walking all the way back to Heaven's Stair is faster than just beating the level that is attached to this boss arena and fast traveling from it. So, unfortunately, we do have to spend all that time walking back.
Well, he was already soft locked before I told him to go there. If some of that area were loaded though, walking there would have saved the run, though he still would have lost like 5 minutes, so Sam, you're so lucky. Like, this gives you an excuse to not continue the run.
Oh, I mean, I was gonna stop anyway, I don't care.
Yeah, I know, but now you actually have an excuse.
What am I gonna do? I'm gonna cry about it.
Right,
No,
so
I'm just helping to commentate the run, that's all.
coming up is the windmills cutscene skip. There's a cutscene there. Okay, great. That was interesting.
So
Okay.
is the trick to that to jump after you get out of the corruption on the other side?
Yes,
Because like
and
when
no.
I tried, the problem was I was like too far into the corruption and I couldn't jump because of that. But like, it looked like you were even further in than me. You just waited longer.
Yeah, so the timing of your jump is quite precise there. So you basically have to jump just before you hit the cutscene, but just after you walk out of the corruption. But then your like left-right position is also very precise, because if you're too far right, you'll walk into the corruption and die. And if you're too far left, then when you do the double jump around the cutscene, you'll just kill yourself.
Yeah, and see, this is why I have no interest in taking world record from you, because you've introduced a bunch of skips like that, and I respect you for it, but I also hate you for it.
To be fair, that trick was like always known. It's just no one bothered to do it.
Yeah, that's my point. You know, we had an unspoken rule. Don't do this to the community. All 2 of us. We had an unspoken rule.
Alright, so we're almost back in Heaven's Stair. As soon as we get into Heaven's Stair, we're not actually... Oh, excuse me.
Nice.
Well, that's a first.
There you go.
As soon as we're gonna go walk into Heaven's Stair, we're not gonna fast travel straight... Okay, cool.
I'm rubbing off on you.
I was gonna say, if the game would allow me, as soon as we go back into Heaven's Stair, we're not gonna fast travel straight away. We're first gonna collect a couple more light seeds that we missed. We could have gotten them before, however we would have had to backtrack for them on the way to the hunter fight. However, now we're already going in that direction, so it's just faster to get them now. And then we wouldn't have to backtrack towards the hunter fight again. As soon as we get them, we can just fast travel. So in theory, from here we could fast travel, but we're gonna get just, 17 more seeds before we do that. So we're gonna climb Heaven's Stair again, which we haven't done yet after healing it. And there are seeds there. I'm currently 3 minutes behind my PB. My PB.
That's another.
And realistically, with the current strats, my PB is improvable by about 2.5 minutes. Humanly improvable with current strats. Let's see if I get the good jump. Hey, I got it. Sam probably knows what I did there. The rest of you will probably be like, what was so special about that?
Remember when we were worried that we might have to do that in order
And-
to preserve ledge storage?
In all seeds, we might have to do that. I'm not sure
Well,
yet.
You've ruined all seeds for me as well. You can count me out. I'm done.
Because that seed up there, oops, that one, well, we can't see it anymore. Basically, the last blue seed that we can't, that we don't get in any percent.
There's
I'm
a way
not sure.
there's a way to get it without getting blue.
Yeah, but you have to preserve your ledge storage.
Hey Ven, I got soft lock. I got death warped back to a place where you can't get out of.
So these seeds here, you can only get them casually if you've unlocked the blue plate where we can just corner clip through. And then there are a couple more right there which we can backtrack for. And then there's one to the left there that you can see, which we were just talking about right there, which we can't get. Or we can, but not at a speed which would be worth getting. Which would make it worth getting. There's another category though, all seeds, where we have to get every seed, and in that category it might be worth getting that seed. Okay, so I've collected 540 light seeds. We go back to the temple now. Oh, wrong direction, my bad. There's another cutscene, and then we're gonna get the blue plate and go kill the concubine.
Also, the cutscene that is playing at the moment is supposed to be the one that plays the first time you come here to get a power, which is technically this is the first time we've come here to get a power, even though
Yeah.
we already have 3 of them. So
The healings must have had an effect.
Will they keep Armin trapped?
No. They gave the Ura their powers. Now that they're active, we can reach the other fertile grounds. If we heal those...
Then he'll be trapped and we can get out of here?
Yes.
Yes. That will allow us to enter fertile grounds in the City of Light and the Royal Palace.
you know, I think I was still playing the game when it happened to you,
Let's try this.
but you know when you're in Coronation Hall and Elika gets frozen in place, the prince goes off on his own, and then all of a sudden, the concubine just politely returns Elika to you for no apparent reason.
Oh, you mean like at the bottom of the level?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So I when the first time I played this, and every time I go through that level, it seems so much to me like that's an obvious like tell. That's not really Elika, right? That's like it's gonna turn out that was the concubine the whole time. And then when you go in, like, you know, when you beat her, spoilers, he makes that joke about, like, he starts talking to Elika like she's the concubine, and he acts like she's, you know,
Father, no!
and, like, I think maybe that was supposed to happen in Coronation Hall, but they cut it for some reason.
Interesting.
Because it kind of lines up with those two things. Because it really does feel to me like that's really, like, what they were going for there. To me, it's just super obvious the way they presented it that that's not going to be the real Elika. And then he makes that joke when you beat the boss. So because there's really no reason for him to make that joke otherwise. None of the bosses have shown any ability to possess people or mimic people other than Concubine, and she doesn't mimic anyone in the game. We just assume she can because she can do illusions.
So I was too slow on that fight and deactivated like a mini QT kind of thing. Shoutouts to doing new strats in the marathon run, where you have to memorize stuff that I haven't memorized and I have to read it in real time. Oh right, I'm supposed to go to Coronation Hall. and I've messed up. If you don't move the camera there at all, it still works. But if you don't move the camera after that cutscene, when you teleport to Coronation Hall, you can just hold back and just keep jumping, and you end up jumping perfectly.
Yes,
anyway.
Carl has. You have the final run of the marathon, and it is after this. So yes.
So I picked up some ledge storage there when I did the Black Gate skip. You can actually quite easily do the Black Gate skip without any setup. I did use a setup because I wanted the ledge storage. And once you get it, it's just easier with the setup because you're standing right next to it. And
yeah, I do it without setup, and I wasn't gonna drop down if I made it this far, because if I remember right, I timed this skip and it saves like very little time. I don't find it worth it at all.
yeah, it can save like 10 seconds if you're very quick. There are some tricks to it, which can make it more efficient. Like, so right there I did 3 pause buffers, and you know how like if you press W instead of mashing space, you can save 2 pause buffers. In other words, there are 2 places where you can stand up, frame 3 and frame 5, just with different keys. And so you can kind of risk it and start your pauses a bit late, because then if you miss frame 3, you can still get frame 5, and basically by taking a risk there, you can get the pause buff, you can get the pause within like 2 frames every time. If that made any sense whatsoever. It probably made no sense to everyone who's not Sam.
Yeah, no, I understood, but so for the question, what's the difference between blue and red? Basically nothing, like Vin said, but actually, technically, there is a difference, and it's kind of dumb. But it's red is step of Ormaz. You're mimicking the steps of the god. You know, like you go from point A to point B like a foot would in a step. Hand of Ormaz is the blue one, and Elika is basically, Ormaz is taking Elika by the hand and throwing her somewhere. And as a result of that, the blue plate you can double jump and wall run out of, whereas the red plate you cannot, I believe is the difference. I know you can't double jump out of the red plate. You might be able to wall run out of it at certain circumstances.
Generally, when you use the red plate, it takes you directly to another red plate or onto some solid ground.
Right.
If my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, no, I think I remember some places where you wall run out of it, but the blue plate specifically you can double jump out of, which we'll actually see in one of these segments climbing this tower, so...
I like how I assume it was Toka, or maybe it was Eraser, who put soft locked because burger on Sam's screen, as if
that was Eraser. There's no way that was... Yeah, that was Eraser. I promise you.
As if the burger made him soft lock.
Your time is almost run.
Didn't even have a cheeseburger today.
Come on. Elika! Hey! Princess! Elika, get up! Elika!
Yeah, he actually softlocked because of a glitch, which he has apparently seen 3 times. I think it's happened to Vin once as well. I've never seen it before. Well, I've seen it on Sam's stream. I've never had it personally.
Yeah, no, like I said, it's happened to me 3 times since I came back, which has only been in the last week.
Oh, interesting.
I think I've died in the same place all 3 times though, so that might have something to do with it. I'm not sure.
I want to look back at the video for this, to see if we can figure out how that works, and see if we can figure out maybe if we could do it in other places. Potentially unlikely, but I'd love to look at it.
Well, there was that one time I wasn't recording, but there was that one time in Machinery Ground when I jumped going down a slide and fell off the end of the slide and respawned in the center of the level on the fight platform for no apparent reason. That's the only other similar thing that's ever happened to me.
Right. Alright, so we're almost done with the concubine fight. What's this one? B1 cubed.
I don't know how it's possible for the mic to be ahead of the video. All the audio should be coming through Smathlax stream, and the video should be coming along with the audio.
So choose her.
If you're talking about me, my voice is coming through his computer, so yes, there will be a delay between my face and my voice. Honestly, I'll just turn off my stream at this point.
Save me?
What if I'd fallen unconscious again?
Ha! Oh, I didn't think of that.
Both of us. Interesting.
Well, little man, you took the test. You failed.
Nice, now my face is just frozen solid on the stream. I figured it would just go black. I didn't think this would happen.
So, with the new fight strats, you'd think I would have, like, golded some splits, because I was supposed to save 27 seconds in total. I did gold one split by 0.38 seconds, but I was supposed to save 7, so...
You're right. Let's get out of here.
Yes, the PoPRuns hidden accounts are very well hidden.
Yeah, he's right though. I muted you and checked the stream. Your voice is desynced with your video, which is interesting.
Well, that shouldn't be my end.
That wasn't an illusion either.
Let's get out of here.
At least I highly doubt it's my end, because I've never had such an issue before. And I've not changed any settings or anything.
I mean, personally, I blame Eraser.
Fair enough. Anyway, so there's another cutscene here, which we're gonna skip by, again, doing the fast travel trick. So just before the cutscene starts, we fast travel to the temple, which is actually where we need to go, because we've killed all 4 bosses now. Now we enter endgame. So expect the final time to be like... oh yeah, there's mental realm skip too. Now forget that. We don't know what the final time will be. There's mental realm skip 1 first of all, which is this thing here. Alright, got it first try. And then at the end of this section, which is like something like a minute long, maybe a bit more, I'm not sure. There's a skip which saves 10 seconds, but if you fail it, you have to do the entire thing again. And I go for it in runs. Even though it's like, I mean, it's not incredibly difficult, but it's quite precise, and I've lost runs to it. I'm gonna go for it now as well. I have failed it in a marathon run before and got it second try, but realistically, like, I can fail it like 3 times and still finish underestimate, so it's fine. And during this section, I also switched to controller, because when we get to the skip, you have to hold, like, when I play on keyboard, I have to hold D and at the same time mash E, and usually I press both of those keys with the same finger, so it's just highly uncomfortable to attempt to do that on keyboard. So I just switched to controller because it literally doesn't matter here. There's no camera movement or anything. Ah, thank you for the host, apparently, Kadarev. Also, this skip is coming up.
I think the thank you for the host was ironic. I don't think we were hosting.
Oh, okay. Also, I failed the skip. Ah, damn it. I want to show it off, though. should I show it off?
No.
Fine. Well, rip.
Basically, you jump, and the game decides whether or not you save 10 seconds or lose multiple minutes. And yeah, you just jump, and instead of doing all those colored plates, you just jump to the end. It's pretty pretty basic skip. It's just a million times harder than it should be.
I forgive you.
Also, I do appreciate the pop faces, but I was actually giving you the opportunity to decorate my face, you know, like give me a mustache and a hat and stuff. But this works too. So shout out to the mods.
Everything I lived for.
Right, fight. B1 squared, B2 to the 5. Excuse me? Okay. That was weird. Okay, so I'm just under 4 minutes behind of world record, which is 2:18:19. So let's just say I'll finish 2:18 plus 4 minutes, so something like 2:22. If we do need to kill some time, I could show off some glitches. I do want to show off the ledge fall, and it's not going to take very long, so even if we don't need to kill time, I'm underestimate, and I assume I can show it off anyway. Anyway, here I switched the controller again. Oh, nice jump. Because you can't move the camera. Oh, fantastic. Am I gonna die? Yeah, I died. Fantastic. Oh, apparently. A small skip here, we can just do a double jump to skip some platforming. Hopefully I can remember all the skips we can do here, because I am rusty. Alright, so there was one there.
Yeah, these are a bunch of small, relatively easy skips, but because of the black and white filter and the general design of this level, everything looks exactly the same as everything else.
Yeah.
And if you make one small mistake, it'll cost you like 30 seconds to a minute, depending on where it happens. And it's, you know, soul-crushing at this point, because this is the final boss. This is right next to the end of the game, so... Some of us have bad memories attached to this room, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, when you de-rust this game, you have to like practice these, because otherwise you'll get to the end and then you might not remember how to do them.
Also, shoutouts to an evil god of darkness who is taking the avatar corporeal form of a dragon and cannot stop two completely worthless, weak human beings. Like he's literally trying to punch them, and he can't. It's pathetic.
And the thing is, if he did, like, they would just die. They wouldn't, like, take damage or something. He would crush them.
Yeah, no, like, by all rights, there's no reason why this fight exists logically. It doesn't make any sense.
Unless, like, you could argue that he's been trapped for 1,000 years and he's, like, really weak, not just in terms of body, but in terms of, like, brain power as well, and he's just got, like, terrible reaction times.
Well, have you ever
fantastic.
tried to catch a fly with your hand, with your bare hand?
Well,
I mean, yes, and I have succeeded.
Okay.
I've actually killed a fly with my leg before too, so go away, Toka.
Yeah, who the fuck do you think you're talking to right now, Toka?
That is a true story, by the way. I have killed a fly with my foot.
Is that something you put in your resume as well, or?
Yes.
Keep in mind, if I do end up moving to Germany, Germans can't handle flies. Noted.
Keep going!
At this point, honestly, like, I'm finishing 10 minutes underestimate, and it's just hard to focus. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that was fantastic. I accidentally did a skip, and then turns out it kills you. Cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I just watched that happen on the main stream.
But yeah, like, I'm gonna be 10 minutes underestimate, and it's just hard to focus because this bot is so boring. Cool. we'll get through this. At this point, Sam will catch up.
Yeah, I'll just relaunch the game real quick and start over from an autosave.
Oh yeah, wait, what was the last thing you did? Like, where did you get?
My last autosave probably would have been killing the warrior.
Right.
I appreciate your advice, Eraser, but I don't really feel like discussing my future life plans in front of 32 people I don't know, so... I will hold my thoughts at bay. Why does Elika have color? Because her magic is fueled by the god of light, or Maz, and he is the only thing that can cut through the darkness. It's poetic. Or something.
Yeah, I'll go with the or something.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the legitimate thought behind the design.
Yeah.
But,
This is the final boss, by the way. We just mash E and he's dead. Oh, he's not dead, he's imprisoned. But then, oh wait, I can't say it, because it's a spoiler. But if you've seen the epilogue run, you already know what happens.
Still worried about that lore quiz at the end of this?
We did it! Alika, we did it!
I'm kind of waiting for this to be over because I need to go to the toilet, but I do want to show off ledge falling as well. Yes, Carl Gamer, that's correct. I assume had they made a sequel, he would have. Well, Elika is a princess, so perhaps they would have gotten married, and then he would be a prince, I suppose, if that's how princes work.
They also keep much of his backstory completely secret in this. We know nothing about who he is or where he came from, really. So technically, he could be royalty. Maybe his parents died and he's like had to hide from the people who overthrew the king, his
Yeah.
father. You know, I mean, we don't know anything about him, so
Yeah, that's true as well. It would have been exciting to learn more about him in a sequel, but unfortunately this game got bad reviews and the sequel was never made. But yeah, that's a very fair point. In Pop 1, the prince is also not a prince until the end. Apparently, I've never played the game, but people say that. So, to all the critics who say, "Oh, the Prince of Persia, and he's not even a prince," well, yeah, he wasn't a prince in Pop 1 either, in the original Prince of Persia game.
Catara, my run soft locked because of a glitch that we do not fully understand, in which I death warped to an inescapable place, and I did not feel like loading an autosave and losing a bunch of time. That was my most straightforward, least sarcastic answer. It pains me to know that you live in fear. I mean, I was already planning on not finishing the run. I was just going to stop whenever Smath stopped. So...
The one from Pop 1.
Look out for Zombie Elika.
Oh yeah. This is a consequence of deleting the cutscenes, by the way. Elika is dead. I want to try to show off something here. I can't remember how to do it, but it should be simple enough that I can figure it out. Also, world record is now officially dead. Okay, so if you saw the TFS run last night, you would have already seen this, but I want to try to show it off in this game as well. No, we'll get it eventually. I'm sure. I don't know if you know what I'm trying to do, Sam.
No, I'm completely, like, and entirely enthralled and confused right now. What on earth are you doing?
Oh, there we go. There. Leaning Prince. And he can even
Did
jump.
not know that was a thing in this game.
Well, yeah. Alright, I can't be bothered to do it again. As I said, I don't remember how to do it, but it's simple enough that I can figure it out. Yeah, exactly. Then.
I may do another run of this to get second place. I don't know. It'll depend how bored I get in the next week or two before I completely rust over again.
Get sub 230.
I mean, I could. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I will.
Well, I'm
If I
saying
haven't-
do it.
Well, I'm saying if I haven't improved my PB in like 2 weeks from now, remind me to upload my current PB before I like delete it. Because right now I have 3rd place, and I'm only like 30 seconds off in 2nd place, and that, you know, if nothing else, at least I can steal a bronze light seed from Drep. He doesn't deserve it.
I mean, Drep's run is spliced anyway, but Toka verified it.
Oh, it is?
Well, I mean, his stream cut off in the middle and it's in like 2 parts and there are like 40 seconds of missing run.
I did not know that. That's glorious. Shoutouts to our strong and rule-abiding leader, Tokaloni1, who apparently verifies spliced runs. I see you in that organization channel down there, Toka. I thoroughly encourage you to join us and explain yourself.
And he was like recently rejecting all runs without a VOD as well.
No, thank you.
Oh, see, I must not know you quite as well as I thought I did. I thought you were going to immediately start apologizing.
Hang on, let me just... No, actually, let's keep going. Let me save here. Not for any particular reason, really. Just want to have a save. Anyway, coming up is realistically the last skip of the run, which is a walk skip.
And is so painful to miss.
So at some point here the prince starts walking instead of running, but we can do a wall run like that to skip most of it. As you can see, he still does walk a bit, but not for nearly as long.
He's about to forsake the entire world for the sake of the girl he's fallen in love with over the course of the past, I don't know, like somewhere between 3 hours and 10 days. They really did not give a good sense of time progression in this game. But so, you know, they like made him walk slowly because you're supposed to be contemplative and asking yourself, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to destroy the world to bring Elika back? And yeah, I mean,
get ready on time, by the way. It's in like 15 seconds. As soon as we walk through this hallway, but the restreamers know that already. And time. If we jump into that cutscene, we can break it so that we get the top view. And this is the funny Elika thing. You can see like the behind the scenes of the cutscene.
I didn't know about this either. 2:24:14.
According to Drep, it also saves like 3 frames or something. It says I've got 2:24:08 on my auto splitter.
Well, we started the timer on pressing the load button, not on the actual load.
Right.
So interestingly, despite it seeming like Ahriman has tricked the prince into unleashing him in order to save Elika, if you like pay attention to the cutscenes, it's pretty much, I would go as far as to say it's pretty much confirmed that this was Ormaz's plan. He wanted Elika to come back because the temple is not a permanent solution. Ahriman will eventually escape. And it seems pretty clear that Elika is like his chosen one to defeat Ahriman. But like Smath said, we never got a sequel, so we don't know that for sure. It's just the whole reason the prince gets the idea to bring her back to life is because the temple gives him visions, and Elika confirms earlier in the game that the visions do not come from Ahriman; they come from Ormazd. So it's peculiar. Seems to indicate that Ormazd wanted her to live, even if that meant unleashing Ahriman.
If I do have the time, which I assume I do, because I finished 10 minutes underestimate, can I show off a glitch?
No. Maybe. I don't know.
You may do so.
That's up to Token.
Thank you, Master Tokoloni1. So we've seen the ledge walk glitch and we've seen the air walk, both of which are done the same way. The air walk occurs when we try to ledge warp to the beam that we're already standing on. If you don't remember, the ledge warp is just the glitch that happens when we teleport around to places. But there's another glitch that was found fairly recently, which we call the ledge fall, where you can fall to the height of your ledge storage without like taking any damage or anything. So I'll show this off here. As you can see, that platform down there is very, very low down. Like if I just try to jump to normally, we die before we get there. However, I currently have ledge storage at 000, which is even lower than that platform. So if I do the ledge fall and drop down like this, we can just drop down as far as we want to. And it can also be done like on a fence, which I can show off here. Oh, never mind. Yeah, crap. I'll get there again.
There are also certain places in this game where you can fall off of a ledge as a cutscene starts and fall all the way down to like the bottom of the world. It's really difficult to pull off, and we've never found a good use for it, but it is technically a thing you can do, and kind of similar to this, where you just fall standing up.
I didn't mash fast enough. I ended up teleporting to 000. I can show that off as well. This is what it looks like when you teleport to 000. Nothing is loaded. This is somewhere around the area of the temple, but yeah, nothing is loaded. And we can teleport to like a bunch of areas, like those mental realm places where we trained for the plates. But yeah, we can also jump off like this to fall much further than we normally could. Because we fall to the height of our ledge storage, and then on top of that we fall some additional distance as if we fell from that ledge storage. But yeah, that's all I wanted to show off, really. I guess there's a cool thing with that blue plate if I can get it. Hang on. Alright, so this blue plate here. So basically, with the blue plate, if I just go on it normally, it takes me forward and then onto this pole. However, it turns out we can mirror that by just turning the camera around. So like this, hopefully. Oh, never mind, it didn't work. Fantastic.
Oh yeah, I remember this being finicky.
Let me see if I can get it.
So this is a great example of what I said way earlier in the run about how the camera controls things that it really shouldn't in this game.
Yeah. Well, apparently I can't get it now, but I'll try a couple more times. Maybe like that. No, I'll try turning it even more. No, he's still not doing it. I don't know why it's not working now. I'll try one or two more times and give up. maybe like... Oh, there we go. See, he kind of flew through the wall and then he missed the pole. Oh, maybe it only works if you like double jump to the plate without wall running to it. Yeah, perhaps that's the case. That could actually be worth investigating on other blue plates. Perhaps we could mirror other blue plates as well, because I've only seen it here. Yeah.
Well, GG. That was a fantastic run for a D-Rust. And thank you for all of your help getting me sort of in practice for this, even though everything went wrong. This isn't the last run. We have one more after this. Issachria, I think is how it's said, is a Prince of Persia 1 mod that's supposedly incredibly difficult, and Carl Gamer is going to be showing that off, I'm sure, with excellent skill. But this is going to be my last time on the stream, so I wanted to say a big thank you to Eraser and Tokoloni. Even though I give them a lot of crap, they put in a ton of hard work to pull this event together, and they've been pretty much running the whole thing behind the scenes. So I see you unmuted, Eraser. I know you're probably speechless. Just know that
Yeah, you can even imagine. Like I'm like, wait,
the only positive thing I will ever say to you. So
yeah, like I'm whoa. Thanks. I guess I don't know. Like I'm so confused right now. Like thank you for running like in the marathon, doing your best, even like when you didn't have too much time to prepare like for some stuff. I know. And also like for preparing a segmented run with GMP, like that was just a great show.
Yeah, for sure. Which, speaking of that, if any of you missed that, or if you would like to watch it in not terrible resolution, I will be re-rendering that soon, and we will be uploading it to the YouTube channel for this marathon.
Yeah, definitely. That will be really good, and that's definitely something that I recommend people to see. And thanks also to Kido, like for epilogue and this run. I guess like you were 2K8 this year, like only 2K8, no TFK, but you know.
Merci.
A fun fact: Smath was one of 3 people who appeared on every day of this marathon.
Yeah.
I appeared every day last year as well.
Thank you. Yeah, so thank you very much to both of you for participating and for all your cool runs and the D&D campaign. Yo,
thanks for accepting my runs.
Contributed. Sure.
Even though I had a PoPRuns Augur on the inside who was obviously gonna accept this run. I mean, what?
Fun fact on the Augur, we cannot vote if our name is associated to a run. So Sam was not able to. Yeah, Sam was not able to vote for this one.
Correct. Yes, we try to be impartial. Because this event is so big and really needs that professionalism.
Exactly. So, yeah,
All right. I guess that concludes this run.
Yeah, I'll see you all next year. Well, I mean, I'll see you all like on Discord and stuff.
I'm not talking to any of you until next November. Goodbye.
But yeah, I'll see you all again. Hopefully with more 2K8, maybe like all seeds or something. Maybe all seeds segmented. We were talking about that. I'm not sure, but maybe all seeds segmented
blindfolded
could be. 2K blindfolded is something I want to do. But yeah, thanks for having me and stuff. It was fun. I mean, it would have been nice to have it on site again, like last year, hybrid. But I mean, it was fun even as it was. So shout outs to the PoPRuns Augur and all the other guys who organized it and took care of the tech issues and all that kind of stuff.
You're welcome. So right, we are transitioning into an intermission, and then we'll be back with the final run of this marathon.